Hello, everyone. Happy May. It's hard to believe we're already to this point of the school year, but I hope it's been tracking well. And not that you're counting down too many times here, but hopefully you're tracking well to wrap up the next few weeks of this school year. A couple big reminders for you as we embark on the newsletter for this month, and a couple new features I'd want you to be aware of. Some nice things to kind of play around with as we're in that recap or our test prep mode to wrap up the school year here. So the first thing is a reminder. We talked about it last month, and I want to make sure I mention it again. And we'll send more targeted communication as we get closer to it going live. But I need to remind us all about a change coming to YouTube. Due to privacy restrictions and the guidelines that we have to follow, we're going to restrict. We're going to need to restrict specific access for students to go to YouTube directly. It doesn't fall under one of Google's core services, so unfortunately all the privacy laws we have to follow don't allow it to happen. And I know, as I talked about last month, like there's a love-hate relationship with YouTube. Great resources for video content and learning and approaching things in another way. A lot of wormholes that you can get stuck into as well, especially with the comments and suggested videos and ads and all that. And so certainly some positive or negative. But what does this mean? This doesn't mean that YouTube's not available to you as a staff member. It just means that students can't visit YouTube directly, either on their own or if you provide a link to them to go to youtube.com to watch a video. And so what that means is if you're not in the habit of already, always use YouTube in a built-in way. And what I mean by this is in your Google Classroom or in a Google slide, they have an option to add a YouTube link where it auto embeds it within the platform. Google Sites is the same way. Even Google Forms, you're throwing a video in there and ask some questions about it. Use the built-in embedded way because the embedded videos will still work for students. They just will not be able to click that video and then enter YouTube itself to do it from there. And so anytime you have the option within the platform like Google Classroom or Slides or Forms, etc., make sure you use the built-in option there rather than just giving a blanket link to YouTube. If you're on YouTube itself and you're looking to share a video, you go to that share button here. This is the direct link that will not work for students in the future. Click that embed option. It'll give you a code, and then you can use that in a Google site or another avenue that would support that. So I don't think in the grand scheme it'll change too many things of how we're using it. I think a lot of times we are referring to the built-in tools already. It's just that awareness piece that direct links would not work as you go through it. The other hint related to that is that you can always use Screencastify as your tool to use it. We talked about their premium video library before, where when you're on Screencastify, you can not only create your own videos naturally, but if you go to premium library, it gives us access to YouTube within Screencastify. So I can search for a video in here or grab a link and bring it in, and it becomes part of the Screencastify watch page, which is separate from YouTube. It uses that same embedded feature. And then it gives us all those things that that we weren't able to use within YouTube, such as translated captions or the AI quiz questions, and a lot of that watch history stuff that we have available there. So great little resource to use as an add-on to just a straight up video. And while we're in Screencastify, there's another feature that they just launched that can be a really interesting one to play with to finish this school year. It's a part of our package, and you'll be able to use it right away. And so if you guys have ever used Kahoot or Socrative or those other type of interactive quiz type of things, they've incorporated that type of feature within their assessments piece. So on Screencastify, under assessments, you have this thing called live learning, where if you click it here, they give you an introduction to it, certainly. But basically, you add a video, whether it's from that premium library of YouTube or something that you've created. You're turning it into a quiz, and then it is something that you can host live, just like a Kahoot, where it takes over your screen. Students can join it with a code. you're all watching it at the same pace. It pauses at different spots and then gamifies the quiz questions that you put in. So again, if you ever use those types of interactive quiz features before, it's kind of a really cool concept that's built right into the Screencastify tool. Can be a great way to do some review stuff towards the end of the school year. Another tool that is available to us in this platform. The two other things I want to mention today are related to new features that are either available now or coming. So in our Google space, Google Slides, obviously we use this in so many different ways to present material, to encourage interaction or group work and all that. And what's great about Google is that they continue to add features so that we can work smarter, not harder. And one of the ways they do that is with this concept of building blocks. So as you open up a slide presentation, we have a bunch of buttons on the side, and one of them is for building blocks. And we see building blocks in a lot of other apps, like in Google Docs. We can do email drafts and automatic tables and lists of things. In Sheets, we can use it for automatic formulas or people interactive or maps and or task-based stuff and drop downs. Some cool stuff, and they've incorporated a lot of this in the slides now. And so if you're in the building blocks area, they have pre-built templates for each of your slides on a variety of different things. So if you're looking to throw an agenda concept into your slide, if you want a little a stylized quote bubble, formatted headlines, card-based things for KWL charts, badges and collaboration stuff. Lots of interesting, just automatic graphic tools that you can just quickly insert, scale, resize, ungroup, color, change, whatever, or just simply use it as is. So great way to cheat a little bit. Not a lot of us are graphic designers by profession, but we can certainly use the tools that are available to us for sure, right? And so just access these from the building blocks side and just start exploring and see what you can do with that. And then the other new feature is related to Google Classroom and their student groups feature. This stuff is coming out soon. It's not available yet, but they said within the next few weeks it should be available. So if you've ever made the student groups in your Google Classroom as a way to group your students into different sections within a class, they've added a couple new features to it starting soon, where one is you can email those subgroups just as a quick way to contact them all right away. And then to me, this is the more exciting thing is just simply the ability to sort your groups when you're looking at your student work page. And so you've grouped your students into whatever groups make sense. And if you need to kind of organize them as such when you're reviewing their work in Google Classroom, nice handy feature of that for sure. So be on the lookout for that as we end up this year. And then the very last thing that I had for us today is just another reminder that we had a beta test that we asked for volunteers for last month, testing out a wireless projection system. We have the ability to test it out for the remainder of the school year. So just a few weeks left, but we still have a couple units left that are available to be used for testing. So if you missed out on last month's opportunity, and still have the time or capacity to give something a shot, just put in a support ticket and say, hey, Brian said something about being able to test something, and we'll coordinate with you to get you set up with that. All right, enjoy the rest of the month of May, and we'll connect with you in June.